Henry Petrosky begins his book, A History of Design and Circumstance, with a look at the packing list of Henry David Thoreau for a 12-day excursion into the Maine woods. He included pins, needles, and thread among the items to be carried in an India rubber knapsack, and he even gave the dimensions of an ample tent. He does this to remark not about what he listed, but about what was left off the list, the pencil. Not that he didn't pack one, or many, but its exclusion from the list of essentials is key to his point about the neglected importance of the pencil. If Thoreau, the son of a pencil maker and frequent carrier of the device, could neglect to mention its importance, how are we to remember to appreciate it? Petrosky states, perhaps the very object with which he may have been drafting his list was too close to him, too familiar a part of his own everyday outfit, too integral a part of his livelihood, too common a thing for him to think to mention. Perhaps education is its own Henry David Thoreau. After all, isn't the pencil the sole common artifact mentioned in school supply lists around the world? Pencils aren't just common. They're often demanded. Many students can recall being scolded for the use of an ink pen. On the other hand, teachers almost always opt to use an ink pen with its sure mark of professionalism, importance, and permanence. The pencil, a tool of doodlers, stands for thinking and creativity, but at the same time as a toy of children. It symbolizes spontaneity and immaturity. Yet the pencil's graphite is also the ephemeral medium of thinkers, planners, drafters, architects, and engineers, the medium to be erased, revised, smudged, obliterated, lost, or inked over. This, I believe, is where we stand, both in education and in the world. The pencil's association with childhood positions it to be looked down on, and its ubiquity keeps it from being remembered. With the importance of the pencil being often forgotten, let us look back to what was before it, and then look at what was to become because of it. Today, the use of the pencil in school is about as ubiquitous as the students that hold them. They're used for drafting ideas, sketches, taking tests, and numerous other tasks. But what were the schoolrooms in early America like before the commonness of the pencil? In the early American schools, predating the Civil War, a person would find that the closest thing to the pencil that they could see would be a writing slate. The slate was akin to that of a chalkboard, only textbook size. Written on with rocks and later with chalk, these slates were the precursors of what was to come. The slate used was similar to the pencil in that it could be erased, but different in how it was utilized by the students and teachers. Students did not preserve any of their work in the form of what is described today as class notes. Memorization, therefore, was emphasized and achieved through collective recitation led by the teacher. A keen memory characterized a good student. When you fast forward to modern times and look at what we consider to be the most obvious characterization of a good student, most would state that it's their ability to take notes and keep organized. The task of note-taking is synonymous with the pencil. The ability to quickly and cheaply create copious amounts of material in the form of something that is also disposable is strongly tied to pencil technology. This skill has strongly been needed in modern society due to the amount of information that is out there. Nonetheless, note-taking would actually not become commonplace until after the pencil made its appearance. Until then, these slates were often utilized in the foundations for teaching handwriting and spelling. Being cheaper than paper and easily erased, it made for something that could be easily acquired and used very frequently. This is not to say that quill pens were not utilized. Quill pens were often employed for important writing tasks and work that would later be displayed. The reason for its use being limited is largely due to the costs involved and the labor that went into quill upkeep. It was the teacher's job to whittle goose quills and make ink for the inkwells. In cities, the ink was made of ink powder mixed with water. In the country, the ink was made of lampblack or tannic acid from oak tree galls mixed with a light oil or from swamp maple bark and copperas. Regardless of the utensil used, neither quill nor slate offered a desired medium for note-taking tasks we perform today. Perhaps then they may have scoffed at the idea of taking notes if they were available to. With memorization being so highly prized, they may not have looked at note-taking as being something that would benefit their society. Still, the lack of note-taking, as students use today, is key to the revolution that the pencil made upon its appearance after the Civil War. Many modern critics of the calculator state how its use in school has been the demise of mental math. Students no longer had to write down their math problems, nor work them in their heads. Modern critics of the computer's use in school state how it has created a decline in handwriting, spelling, and grammar, among other things. With built-in spell checking and the lack for needing handwritten documents, it's easy to see how handwriting and spelling could quickly become a lost art. Perhaps the same can be said about the pencil and the note-taking that came with it.